Let's see if that works. I wonder
Let's see if that
yep,
works.
there it is. You want to talk now?
I wonder if that works. There it is. You want to talk now? I wonder if that works. There it is. You want to talk now?
So it's not picking up your voice. It must be in your settings that you won't allow it with other people. It would be under the sound options. Yep. I think it's under the sound settings. Maybe the PS4 is under broadcast. Jordan just came in. Aaron and I are going to be doing a stream because there was a lot of stuff going on that a bunch of people were going to try and cancel everyone that tries to stream Hogwarts Legacy because they're transphobic. Let me check.
Yeah, somebody has to draw a line in the sand and say enough is enough.
Okay, so you can hear yourself, Aaron. Alright. So should I be a male or a female in this Slytherin adventure? The cancel, yeah. Give me a second. Trying to... I was on, hang on. Go ahead and talk.
Roxanne.
Try it now. Try again. There's a setting in your audio. So I just don't understand why it's not. Okay, so it's in the voice chat settings. So in the chat settings, you go in there and then you go to settings. And then voice chat settings is what it's called. Yeah. Right, so if you press start over, if you go into the chat menu, okay, and then if you press options or if you see a triple dot in that chat setting, and it should have share voice in the voice chat settings. Yep.
So, okay. Got it.
There it is.
Okay, I'm stopping the broadcast now. Because I can't stand that.
No worries.
But I still am, like, on the broadcast page. I'm just not listening to audio.
Right. So, we're doing a female for this run.
Okay.
And the whole point of this stream is I watched a few YouTubes that said that anybody that streams Hogwarts Legacy is going to be banned because they are considered transphobic. Now, personally, I don't care about what people want to be. I don't care. It has no reflection on my life. You know what I mean? Like, there is absolutely nothing there that hinders or boosts me up from any of that.
I think that's for both of us, too. And I really don't care what you are. I really don't,
Identify how you want to identify.
yeah.
Be who you want to be.
Really I guess I should say it really doesn't matter to me what you want to be. Is what I should say.
Right. And I guess the overall problem that I have is like this. I guess it comes down to band culture is really what I'm thinking about, is like everything has to be banned that somebody or someone misinterprets or doesn't like or whatever the case may be, and it's becoming a little ridiculous in my opinion.
Because you may not like it, but it doesn't affect your life. Just because somebody else chooses to be something totally different doesn't, I guess it doesn't, it shouldn't affect somebody negatively or positively what somebody chooses to be. See what I'm saying?
Right.
Now, if you draw inspiration from whatever somebody chooses to be, that's on you.
And honestly, like, I mean, you and I grew up in virtually the same time period. Maybe you were a little bit ahead of me. That's okay.
Yes.
But
That's.
I mean, when I was growing up, wasn't really a thing for racism or sexism or anything like that, and we just did our own business. We minded our own business. That's at the end of the day, that's what we did. We just
left it alone.
Right. And coming into the culture now where everything is divided and there is cancel culture, there is let's cancel this because we disagree with it. Well, there's also a good majority of people that do agree with it.
Yes.
So what is happening is the minority groups that are very outspoken are causing monumental changes.
Yes.
Because they are outspoken. And there's a bunch of us that just sit back. You know, I almost swore when I started streaming that I wasn't going to do politics, I wasn't going to do cancel culture, I wasn't going to do any of this stuff, and it's just gotten to the point where it's like, you know, if I'm not a voice for the other side.
That's the whole thing about it. You get bombarded with so much of the other stuff. Your opinion or your thoughts don't matter anymore, so you have to get them out some way.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You have to get your opinion out some way.
Right, and I guess it's just one of those things, you know, you and I have been playing video games together for a very, very, very long time now. I mean, like, and it started in the Division 2.
Yeah.
But
talk about a toxic community.
But I mean, the whole thing is why are we in video games? Why are we worried so much about transphobia or homophobia? When you look at let's just take this game that we're playing right now, right? Hogwarts Legacy is based on a certain time period.
Can you still play it, bro? They play that's rugby. Gotcha.
So if you take this game, right, and yes, it's a wizarding community, it's a magical based game, it's a it's a fictional portrayal of the history. But even
Yes.
so, the time frame that this is in, homosexuals and transsexuals and everything like that, they were not
How
allowed.
extraordinary. It is
Yes.
indeed.
That is
No
history.
other
That's
faculty
just a
has ever
part
heard
of
anyone
it,
being admitted to
you know.
Hogwarts so late.
So
Nor
to
have
get
I.
all bent
Of
out
course,
of shape
as the other fifth years will have been
over
honing their magical
a game
skills
being
for 4 years now,
transphobic, so to
Headmaster asked
speak,
if I could get our
as
new
what
student
people are
up to speed
calling
a
it,
bit before the
is
term begins.
ridiculous to me, because you
Well,
sit back and
you
you
couldn't
look
have
at the
asked for a
time
better
period,
mentor.
and then are you going to get
Professor Fig
homophobic
is
about
not
any
only an
period
exceptional
piece that
teacher,
you watch
he's
on
also
Yes.
TV?
remarkably
Yes.
intuitive and
Yes.
Are you
gifted
going to get
with
mad at Peaky
Mr.
Blinders on
Osric is
Netflix
prone to
because they don't
flattery.
show a bunch of
I dare say it's one of
homosexuality?
the reasons he's risen so far
Are
up
you
the
gonna get
ministry.
mad at Game of Thrones or
Have you
House
seen
of
this?
Dragons for a girl coming out as
I
polyamorous?
have.
Right.
Opinions differ as to how great a
Not
threat
polyamorous,
Ranrock really is.
but binary.
Although I've yet to
Right,
convince my colleagues
non-binary,
of the
but
ministry, I
the
believe
whole
he is a
the whole
significant
aspect is,
threat.
if a
And
video
it
game
was
or a
your
movie
wife,
portrays or
Elizabeth,
does not portray,
who alerted me
what
to his
does it
activities
matter in the
months
grand
ago.
scheme of things?
Miriam? How? She wrote
It
to me
doesn't.
about Ranrock before she died.
And
wondering what the
and I guess
ministry
one of
knew
my
about his
biggest,
activities.
I
Before
mean,
I
this
could
goes
respond,
back. How many
I
times have they tried to ban
received
Eminem
this.
from playing
It
music
was the last
publicly,
thing she sent me.
like over the
Elizabeth.
radio and
Oh,
shit?
It
I
came
mean,
to me via
Jesus.
early
phone,
2000s.
but with no
Early
correspondence.
2000s, bro.
And
Permission
we've
that she
got
had to get
several
rid of it
people trying
quickly
it again, and it's like, you
to
know,
keep it safe. Presumably
what it
from
comes down
Ranrock.
to is, what
I
are you
cannot
willing
own it.
to,
Whatever magic
which
protects
mountain are
this
you
is
willing to
powerful
die on?
indeed. It looks like goblin metal.
And
Yeah.
a video game not having transsexual or
I don't
homosexuality,
see a glow.
is that really a mountain you're willing to die on for one video game, when
Okay,
every single
me ask
video
you-
game that I've played has some aspect of that in it because of this?
let me ask you a question.
Merlin's beard.
How would you go about creating a transgender in your character? How would you go about doing it? I mean, what? How would you do that, dude? How would you?
How would I create a trend? Say that question again. You still there? Oh,
The key! Give me your hand! Right. You're hurt.
Perhaps a bit.
Take this. It's Wiggenweld potion. That stuff will right you in a second.
What happened?
Poor George. I can't believe he... What the hell got into that damn thing? Attacking a carriage mid-air? A typical dragon would never...
Professor? Sir, where are we?
I'm not sure. But that key you discovered was clearly a port key.
Port key?
An item enchanted to bring whoever touches it to a specific place.
I'm feeling better, sir. If you'd like to look around a bit.
I would. But stay close. We've no idea who created this port key. Or why.
Oh, welcome back.
Sorry about that, buddy.
You're good.
I think SharePlay was too much for it.
Was it?
It might be. I'm not sure.
Do you think?
Portkey was meant to lead us.
Okay.
This has
No.
not been the
So
day
refre-
either of us expected.
I'll just talk.
Sent that
I
Portkey
can
to
watch
George for a
you
reason,
play the video
and I
on the
believe that she
Twitch.
and
Okay.
now George died in
So
his
rephrase
pursuit
that
of
question
whatever
you
it
were
was
just
meant to
asking.
lead to. If
How
you're
would you
sure you're
create
all right
a
and
transgender
wouldn't mind
character?
indulging me, I'd
Well,
like
and
to
that's
have a
exactly
look
it.
around
Unless
and
you
see
show the
what's
sex of the character, this is a
Let's see if we
teen-rated
can
game, right?
find a path.
Yeah.
And
However
you
So-
can
it may
choose to have a female character that has a manly voice and be considered a
be.
witch.
Your step.
Because they've done it in the game.
Right.
Where do you suppose
They
we might
do it
find
in the
Portkey
game.
that brought us here?
I mean, unless you have
question.
something like Conan Exiles where you get to choose male or female and then you choose the appendage that's on them.
Yes, exactly. Well,
But
I
that
think-
would become a mature rated game, and who's going to go through that much trouble?
Magic wielded by
I
a
think
rare
about it,
few.
it's like this.
Seems to have been lost in
Because I've
time.
seen you,
Hogwarts
start the game
Castle
up
was
to,
built by, and is itself a
pick your
stronghold
character
of that
out and
ancient
do all that.
magic.
Right.
I don't know
And
where she came
they
into
don't
possession
have the
of
word
Portkey,
transgender
but I am
where you get to
certain
pick
it
your
was to do with that
gender of your
search.
character.
Ah,
And that's
Right.
what
the
it comes
path down
down to.
below.
They
This
don't
way.
have the word transgender.
Right. All they have is male, female, and
Yes.
the misinterpretation is,
Searching for evidence of life.
and this is a lot of the issue that's going on with the transgender community, is that the establishment of, or the basis of gender breaks down into two biological
What really
definitions.
matters
There is
the
male,
one
there is
who
female.
wields it.
I'm not saying that some males feel closer to female and vice versa, but that is,
And that's-
in biological
It's not
law,
cold enough
that
here.
is what it is.
It appears to be a
You
sort
know,
of
that's fine for you to do
Someone wanted
that,
block
but
this path.
the whole
Let's
thing
see some
about
of
this
that
is
one work you were practicing.
you're not gonna play
Focus on the
this
center.
game because the developers forgot to put in the word
Transgender. Agreed. And the whole thing is if you are playing video games based off of one word being involved in the video game, then you're going to run into a lot of video games where you don't want to play them, because there is virtually no video game that I know of that says transgender.
transgender. You can't make a transgender for other character. The
Right.
word's not in there.
I
You can't
mean,
make a transgender division player. So what are you gonna do? Stop playing altogether?
right. You're basically alienating the entire video game community by saying that. And if you don't play video games and all you're doing is watching Twitch, and you're banning people based off of video games that they do play, then you're a hypocrite to the entire societal norm of accept everyone.
Steady yourself.
And I think it's part of the
Reparo.
it comes down to include everyone and everything.
Agreed.
So you know, I have a physical disability,
Right.
but that, you know, that doesn't stop me from liking the WWE, for example. I
Right.
love the WWE. I love being able to watch it. Should I be included to be an athlete? Even I know that's impossible.
Right.
Why would someone have built this here?
I
And
suspect
that's
they
the
value
way-
their privacy.
That's
That Portkey led us here
Or-
for a
or
reason. Let's
like
have a look
this.
around for anything that seems
it's like this.
out of place.
I used to play wheelchair basketball, but does
Right.
that mean I can get out there and play real physical basketball where you have to get up on your feet? No, I cannot play that.
Right, because it is not a possibility for you.
Professor,
It's
this statue.
it's
This may
physically
have been
impossible.
his home.
Right. And it's not that, and here's the funny thing is people will probably get all over me about saying it's not possible, but when you accept the impossibilities in your own life,
believe me, I've accepted all of.
But the whole point is if you accept what is truly impossible in your life. Look at all the athletes that, I mean, they do their damnedest, but they never make it into the NFL, the NBA, the NHL, whatever sport they're playing.
Exactly.
It's an impossibility for them to make it.
I didn't mean to get off on the sports.
Why would someone have conjured that?
Well, no, but that's a good way to look at it. You look at all of that, and then you look at, okay, well, why don't video games have
I
inclusion?
don't see anything.
Well, what happens when you include all these things and your game base drops because the people that are watching these streams that are trying to ban it, they quit playing because they're not streaming anymore because they don't want to deal with and then they have hard feelings because they got banned because the video game itself does not have transgender assignment. So you're banning someone who had no influence on whether or not that option was available in the video game. And they're going to become hostile to the entire transgender community because that's who canceled them.
And by no means are we trying to talk about the transgender community.
No.
I just want we just want people to be realistic to the fact
It
that
can't be.
this cancer culture is
Just a moment.
prevalent and it's really a thing that's out there because they're going to try to cancel everybody who speaks out against non-inclusion and everything.
Right. And when the deep basis for this, the cancel culture, is the video game developers, not anything else. Because that is who made the decisions on their video game. The video game producers, they're the ones that you need to speak out against, not the people that are playing their video games.
I mean, okay, let me ask you another question. Why do we play video games in the first place?
To escape reality.
What does it do for those of us who have physical disabilities? What does it do for those of us?
After you.
It's an escape.
I'm speaking for me. Exactly. So, let's get away from the real world for 5 hours and just get into a game.
Right. And that's, unfortunately, that's where it becomes tricky because they think that, and this could just be projection, but this is what I've internalized on the subject, is they think that I lost my train of thought. The way that I internalize all of this is they get upset because they're not being included. And yet, if you look at, let's take your situation, for example, your disability. Why can't you create characters in wheelchairs? Why don't we have that?
We were just talking about that yesterday.
Right.
Because we were playing this yesterday. He was playing this, I was still playing it yesterday. So, I have mixed emotions about that. Because you can't make that a reality to video game. They just don't.
Right.
Momentous day.
Look at the person on Outriders.
Yeah.
She ends up in a wheelchair.
Yep.
So how much harder is it to put
A character in a wheelchair.
a character in a wheelchair? Now, am I complaining? No. Does it make me upset? No. That it's not there? No, it
I saw
doesn't.
that same glow on the dragon's collar.
But
Yeah,
yet,
what was that? We were just wondering about that
just
gold.
because
He watches over
you
the
choose
oldest section of the bank.
not to play games just because they don't have transgender put transgender based in the game,
Here we are.
you're just gonna get upset and get pissed off.
It's the age-old philosophy of I'm going to take my basketball and go
When was the
home
last time
because
this
I'm
fort was
not getting
accessed?
picked or I'm not
A
winning.
goblin has been stationed at my desk for hundreds of
And
years.
I hate to bring that up, but that was what it was in our day. I mean,
That's what it was.
and when in reality, the best lesson that I ever learned was pick yourself up and keep going. Ask for next game, you know?
So here's the deal.
According to Wikipedia,
Oh, shit.
Sophie Sion, known mononymously
My bad.
as Sophie, was a Scottish.
Oh shit.
Sounds like you're having a meltdown over there.
It's stuck. It's stuck. This has nothing to do with the stream. It's all on my end. There we go. Yeah, it was stuck for a second. Anyway. As a kid,
What do you suppose we should be looking for?
I went outside a
I'm not
lot.
sure.
I watched people
I
play.
wonder if you
I
mean
watched
instructions
people
for Vault 12
play
indicate that I am to grant
play
access to
outside.
the
I watched
Hogwarts
people
key
physically play.
and then close the
I
door.
watched my brothers physically play basketball. Now,
Professor?
That was certainly unexpected.
that
Let me
was
think.
kind of a sore subject for me.
There must be something here.
I'd be like, why can't I do that?
Revelio
Right.
You know?
Revelio?
But at the same
Yes,
time,
a revealing
you know, I
charm.
understood my limits and I
No
dealt
time
with
like the present.
Right.
Let's see what we're missing, shall we?
Well, and I guess that's what I'm more getting at is if you accept. Look, no matter what happens in this life, there are going to be people that accept and don't accept. That's just the way life is. And if you accept the way life is, and you allow yourself not to be bothered by the people that are prejudiced to whatever is happening in the culture and everything like that, you'll be a happier individual for it. Because at the end of the day, you're never going to change someone's mind based on what they believe.
Exactly.
You know, I can have conversations with my friends that have different political
I saw
views,
something.
Move
Exactly.
and it's just conversations. We don't get mad at each other. We don't get upset over each other's opinions.
The door.
We have a few of those
That's
when
a
we play
start.
video games.
There's
Right.
that symbol again.
And it's
I
strictly
don't suppose
video
you see
games.
a way
It's not,
to...
I
It's
do,
not about
Professor. That symbol has the
politics
same
or
glow
what-
as the one I saw in
Right.
the key container.
And so even if we are
the way forward,
in that
then I dare
sense
say we are about to discover the secret of
discussing
this
political
Lead the way.
differences or religious differences in our opinions, the fact remains that if you allow yourself to be stable in your opinion and open your mind to the possibility that you don't have all the knowledge, it'll
This is not
end
the
in a
way
better
forward.
friendship or a better
This is not
communication
the way out of here.
because you're not trying to say that you know
This is
everything.
some sort of test.
exactly.
And
I
that
do.
ties in with the cancel
But
culture
to
because
what
I
end,
feel
can't
like
say.
there are a lot of
Stay
arguments
close.
in the cancel
There will be
culture that
no
are just
disapparating if
based
things
off
go
of
poorly.
purely
Not out of
someone's
grievance.
emotions, not someone's logical thinking.
Yes. Because if you think about things logically, half of this crap you see today would go away,
I see something up
to
ahead.
be honest.
What is it?
That glow again.
All it
But
is
on the
is
floor.
someone else got in their emotions, and someone else got in their emotions, and someone else got in their emotions, and it's been that way for
What happened?
Eons.
When I moved
I mean,
The glow suddenly
Or
seemed as if
more
the light was
prevalently,
swirling about.
in the last 5 years.
Right.
yeah.
Yes, sir, I'm fine.
It's just it's funny to me because
That statue.
there's just so much going on
I
with
see some sort of statue, but only as a reflection in the
canceling. There's so much going on with gender roles and all of this stuff. And I was watching, I was actually watching a broadcast the other
I
day,
presume this is what you
Yeah.
saw reflected
and
in the floor.
they brought up a good point. They said
reflection's still there.
um,
The statue's positions don't match.
it was
Wait.
based on the feminist movement, which I'm not
Reflection
gonna
turned in the direction of the
go
light.
either way
Yeah.
on.
Yeah.
I'm not going to get into that can of worms. But what they
Yeah.
said was, men do not look at wealth the same way that women do. Just like women don't look at the way that men dress and stuff like that, in the sense
Yeah.
of how they put together their ensemble.
Yeah.
It is
Lumos,
Well done.
purely
now the reflection is
based
turning towards
off of,
me. It does
see,
follow
with
the
men, what they said was men have always looked at wealth and said, I can provide.
Yes, exactly.
Whereas they said that the wealth to women is a different perspective in the mind, which I agree with. It's a different area that you're looking at,
It is.
So it was just one of those things that I thought was a really good, and I think it's the same way with cancel culture, is if you look purely from one side of the coin, you're never going to see the full picture. You're only going to see the side of the coin that you're looking into.
Yes, exactly. And, I try to stay up on all of the stuff that is going on inside. I just
Right.
want to keep my mouth. Sit there and stand and be like, I don't know what's going on in the big world.
Right.
That's irresponsible of me to do that.
Right.
So what I try to do is I try to watch 2 or 3 hours of the news, game for a while, game for as long as I want to, and just
Revelio.
do what
Professor?
for the rest of the
Professor
time do what I
Fig.
want to do.
Right.
But the whole
This
the whole
isn't
thing
good.
about it
Where am I
is,
supposed to go?
like when we're having a conversation like this,
What's happening?
so I
The
know what I'm
wisps of
talking
magic
about.
seem to
So
be leading me somewhere.
I'm not clueless and left in the dark.
Right.
Lumos.
What I'm trying to say is you have to know,
Oh,
have
that's
to
where
learn
they're
as
leading
much
me. That glow again.
information as you can. You have to try to soak up both sides
Lumos.
of the story,
Right.
along with having your based opinion you believe in.
Yes.
So, I mean, people, we have to soak up
I suppose
as
I'm on my own
much
this time.
as we can, so that we're not
It seems I have no choice.
bombarded by
I'm going
one
to have to fight my way out of here.
one point of view. I guess try to have all points of view in your sphere.
Right. Have the
Yeah.
complete arsenal instead of,
If you agree with one side and on the other, that's your beat. But try to understand where the world is, so that
Right.
you can have important conversations like this. I mean, and you and our buddy, we've talked for a long time about this
yeah.
situation. We just decided to do this today. Just to put it out there today, how we feel.
Right. Well, and part of the problem that I run into is I never want to have altercations, especially if I'm streaming and playing video games. Like,
Yeah.
the last thing I want to do is cause turmoil
Lumos.
when
Yeah.
I'm doing that, because I'm doing this for pleasure, not for...
Not for confrontation.
Right. But I think there's a level that we all need to understand. There's a level that we all need to know that we can't go past, because what is infringing on the rights of some infringes on the rights of others.
It sure does.
So if you are part of the cancel culture, you are infringing the rights of the people that have a freedom to play these video games without bias or judgment.
And all we're trying
And
to go ahead. Go ahead. And all
Well-
we're trying to do is give the other perspective.
right. It's not that we're arguing with the ban culture, we're just more pointing the ban culture where they need to direct their thoughts.
Hey,
I mean,
Yeah.
There you are. How did you...
If you want the
What
game
is
to look
this place?
a certain way, get on
But I found this
get on
floating above
gaming
that.
platforms and
basin.
make yourself heard.
well,
That is
and not only
really
that,
nice.
but don't ban the people that are playing the video
offensive.
game. Ban the people that are designing them, because that's where your true frustration lies. It's not with the people playing the video game. Now, granted, there are always going to be those out there that are completely unreasonable to talk with, to discuss things with, that will
Yeah.
always hate whatever culture you are a part of. In this instance, it's the transgender community. There are always going to be those that hate them. I mean, shit, we still have racism in this century when there
Yeah.
doesn't need to be any.
And it's been more prevalent than the time in my lifetime. Than the time in our lifetime.
You know Morgan Freeman, right?
Yes.
I think he said it best. He said, "I don't want Black
More is
History
in
Month."
this.
He said,
Obviously,
what is the
well.
point of that?" And he goes, "Would you want a
wonder
White
if the
History
path
Month?"
we've
And the guy
created
turns to him and says, "I'm
may be
Jewish." He goes,
impossible
"Okay,
to
well, do you
follow.
want Jewish History
It will
Month?"
only be
He goes, "No,
impossible
I
for
really
one who
don't." He
cannot
goes,
see
"I don't want
traces
Black
of ancient
History
magic
Month.
as I can.
Black history is American
Ability to
history,
see
so
what
we
others
should just be
cannot
teaching
find
it
is
in
the
American
enough
history."
personal.
It's part of
We are entrusting the one who
Exactly.
embarks on this path.
And I
with
agree with that
powerful
full-heartedly,
secrets,
is
with
when you
knowledge
start
others will
labeling
do anything to
things,
obtain.
it almost gets
Yes.
worse.
And if we are correct,
Do I
Charles,
want
the ritual
Hispanic
wizard who
Heritage
created
Month?
Childs will have proven themselves worthy
No.
of that knowledge.
Right.
And the
Do I
responsibility
want,
that accompanies it.
um
We've done all that we can.
Hispanic history to be known? Yes. But do we have to celebrate it all at once? Why?
That's what you're seeing.
Well, if okay,
The glow that
the
surrounded
culture that
Yes,
any group
astonishing.
brings in. I mean, you look at the Irish, you look at the Scots, you look at all of
Traces
that.
of an
The
ancient magic, to
the
be
United
precise.
States has always been the melting pot.
The magic that Miriam had.
Yes, yes.
And
yes.
before it was the melting pot, we kicked out the people that were really living here. And that's just the reality of what it
And
was.
perhaps George
The Native
Um,
died in
Americans.
pursuit
Right.
of knowledge that has been dormant
But
for centuries.
you don't have to lose your culture to be an American. In fact, being an American is
Are the key to
living
understanding
your
why.
culture.
You're an alien. You're an alienable right to live your culture.
I mean, I walk down the street and there are
Were they? I don't
That-
know. But
people.
That's why
There,
that's why they call it a melting pot. You can celebrate who you are as a person.
Right.
So don't
Seems my reputation precedes me. I
Don't-
was beginning to
the
think no one was ever
transgender
gonna
community
visit Rackham's Vault.
And
wants
why
to
are you
ban people
here?
over here for minding
No
their own
need for that.
business.
Just give me whatever
Or
it is you found
playing their
here and
game
let bygones be
the way they
bygones.
want to play their game. And just because they don't have a transgender,
Sir,
you're not going to watch that person
they
anymore?
have the key
You're
to
not
the
going
vault.
to watch that person anymore?
you're gonna try and get them banned off of
Words
the.
wisely.
I
That's,
I mean-
that the
that's not-
instructions to Vault 12 were quite
that's
clear.
not what this That's not what this
Sir, I
platform
must
was
insist. I
created
was to
for.
grant access
Well, and let's be
only along
honest,
the
you're
key
creating
and
your own
leaving
problems at that point, because then you're creating people that don't like the transgender community because they
I
banned
have
over
no
a video game.
patience for
Yeah,
traitors.
yeah.
Now,
And let me tell you,
where were we?
I'm not giving you anything.
Well,
this
perhaps your
dude
young friend
that I'm talking to
here
right now,
will be more helpful.
he came together through video games.
Yeah.
We didn't come together through anything else but video games.
Right.
Now, do we have a lot in common? Yes. But it's about video games. And
Yeah.
It's he's a true fit, guys. It's not, you know.
Well, and it's not about when everything breaks down to it. We play video games to escape the real world, and the real world includes all the problems that's going on with the different cultures surrounding the world's problems. And I get frustrated because all I keep hearing is people saying, "Oh, well, you don't like us, we're going to ban you." And it's really beyond that. You shouldn't ban anybody for not liking somebody or not liking an aspect of that person. You know, a good way to process that is the same way that I learned to process things, is if you don't like me, you don't have to be around me.
Goblin.
Exactly.
He seemed
The problem is
affected
solved.
by my magic.
I tell this to people all the time. You don't like it?
Where
Leave.
are we?
Yeah. I know it seems harsh, but in the world, I mean, I'm sorry to say this, but you don't always get a participation ribbon for
Path to both.
everything in the
Wanted
world.
someone with your
And
ability
that's so true.
to end
So,
up here.
Mitch,
Come.
just because
We have a sorting ceremony to get to.
I'm the wheelchair, should I hate the rest of the world? Should I be sullen and, I don't want to do that, don't want to go nowhere, don't want to, should I be that way?
No, in fact, one of my favorite moments was we were all playing in a game, and we caught some people cheating, and we were talking in the game, and you turned around and told those people, he's like, if anyone has a reason to cheat in this game, it's me, because I have a disability, but I don't even do that, and I'm still better than you with the cheats. Oh, that was the best moment of our gaming ever. I couldn't stop laughing. Because, I mean, like, look at it this way. If you accept what you have, if you accept yourself for who you are, then what does it matter what someone else thinks?
Exactly. What does it matter, man?
And if I wasn't welcoming of your disability, let's say, or of someone else, then you probably wouldn't hang around me,
Missed the
right?
sorting
I
ceremony.
wouldn't.
Right.
No.
So that's
I'm
that's
no
the end of
expert,
it.
but
You find people that are
seems more appropriate.
positive with
Now,
you, positive
I
around
need to
you,
study
and
this
you
lot
surround
as soon
yourself
as I
with
can,
them,
but
because
first I
then
must
they're
contact
going
the
to know the
ministry.
true you, and you
They
can
need
be
to know what
yourself
happened to
around
Georgia
them. You
in
don't
Ward
have
of
to
Ranrock.
play to
For the
anyone's
moment,
weaknesses
I
or
ask that you keep all
strengths.
that's happened this
Exactly.
evening between you and me.
Of course, sir.
Thank you.
So
Ready for the sorting ceremony?
that's just my personal opinion on it.
I mean, we don't. I mean, it's not. I mean, it's funny because I didn't start seeing this cancer culture happen till like
Phineas,
just before the
Vangelis,
pandemic happened.
Black.
And when the pandemic happened, that whole
Prepare yourself
year
to
and a
meet
half
the
time
headmaster.
frame we took off, it exploded.
Yeah.
Nice
So
of
it
you
all
to join
comes
us.
from
The
people
sorting ceremony is
having
over.
too
There
much
were
time to think.
complications.
Yes.
In
Complications.
my opinion,
It
they
seems
have
the
too much
goblin
time
from
to
Naz.
worry about
Goblins. I've no time
how
for
other
rumors,
people
Vic,
feel
and I'm
or
rapidly
what
losing
they
whatever
feel
patience I had
when
left.
you shouldn't be worried about that at all.
If you're
Right.
lucky,
Now-
we might
now,
still be able to get you
Taking
sorted
that from
this
somebody
evening.
who has all the time in the world to think, somebody,
I'll be in touch.
somebody who has doesn't have the means to go up and get a job.
Right.
Not because I don't want one, because my physical disability limits
Professor Weasley,
me from it.
we've one more
Right.
to be sorted.
So, and
Welcome. You're just in time. Have a seat.
getting that to come from somebody who is in that situation, that says a lot about today's society.
Right.
Don't sit there and think on how people are,
It's a bit
what's
older
going on
than
in
the
other people's
others, aren't
lives.
you?
Yeah.
You come here with
Worry about
preferences
yourself.
and preconceptions, certain
But that's just
expectations.
my that's
I'm
just
looking
my
forward to
opinion
meeting
for
my
what if
professors and learning
for
all I
whatever
can
it's
at
worth.
Hogwarts.
Indeed.
And I mean
Hogwarts has much to
Well, at the
offer
end of the day, I
dedicated
did this knowing the risks, like
And what you
starting
learn
this
in
stream about the
class will
cancel
prepare
culture.
you for
I knew that there's a
challenges
risk that I might get
outside the
canceled off of
classroom
this
as
stream,
well.
even though I'm a lowly person on the totem pole
Oh,
on the
but you're
streaming
brave
site.
yeah, because we just started this.
Yeah, well,
Undaunted by the
and it's not a, I'm not doing it as a full-time gig. I'm doing it
Yeah.
when I can.
Perhaps
Yeah.
you belong
But
in Gryffindor.
at the end of the day, voices need to be heard.
Yes, yes. And
I
if we
detect
get
a growing sense
if we
of
get canceled for this,
and
then
eagerness.
Then that's what happens. I mean, I hate to say that, but I'm fully aware of the results of my actions, and I accept
yes,
the
You
consequences
belong
of my
in
actions.
Slytherin.
And I
But-
think that's the biggest difference between
this whole other side of the spectrum needs to be heard too.
right.
Not only in the gaming community, in the world, because people are so afraid to say how they really feel
Oh,
that
and one more
they're
thing.
afraid that
Due to the
It'll come back
unfortunate
to bite them
injury
in the
on the
ass.
pitch in last
Right.
night's
And it
final,
might-
this year's
and
Quidditch
it might
season
not.
has been cancelled.
There's always the possibility. And, I think
It's not as though I've
one of the
banned
biggest
flying
problems with
altogether,
today's society
but
is that there is
don't
no
tempt me.
acknowledgement
you
or
are here to focus
responsibility
on your
in the sense that
academic
they don't
futures.
accept.
I'm sure you will have plenty to
consequences.
do before classes begin tomorrow.
I think that's a real big,
I said,
because, you
I'm
cancel
sure
you
everybody
have
that plays
plenty to do
Hogwarts,
before classes
and all of a
begin
sudden
tomorrow.
you've got everyone against the transgender community.
If
Everybody
they
that you cancel is going to go against
Quite
that.
an entrance.
if
It's
they
lovely
think they
to
can
meet
cancel
you.
Hogwarts,
I'm
they'll try to
Professor
cancel
Weasley,
something else.
would you be so kind
Yeah.
as to show our new student to their common room?
Well, and again,
I shall see to
it's
it, sir.
all you're doing is fueling frustration and
As I was saying,
malice toward the
I'm
community
Professor
that you're
Weasley.
trying to
Pleased to
defend.
meet you.
Yeah,
Nice to meet you.
Because
as well.
all it does, look, the
As
person
deputy
playing the video
headmistress,
game,
it is
and
my
I
distinct
can't
honor to
emphasize
show
this
you to
enough.
your
The
common
person
room.
playing the video game is not the
Right this
problem.
way.
yeah.
We're just
no,
playing a video game to play the fucking video game.
And
the
we're
pro-
trying to
And you're just trying to
First
silence
student to
that.
begin as a fifth
But
year.
here's the deal.
Maybe it
The
isn't a challenge,
true problem
but
is
one
with the
I'm
video
sure
game
you're
producers.
up for.
Or maybe it's
I can be quite resourceful.
in yourself.
I
Maybe you
suspect
don't
it is.
accept yourself enough
This
to
is the
say
entrance
that
to the
it's not that
Slytherin
big of a
common
deal
room.
for a video game to have
In order to
transgender
enter,
or
one must
not.
simply speak the correct
Yeah.
password.
Well,
Aspiration.
if you feel that strongly about it,
Very well.
why are you speaking out against it? Why are you?
Aspiration.
If you're comfortable in who you are, why are you speaking out against something that doesn't make any
Well
sense?
done.
Because to
Now,
me it
go
doesn't.
on in and get some sleep.
It wouldn't
You have a
make.
big day ahead of you tomorrow. I shall
sense
be
Well,
back in
it-
the morning to collect you.
It has
for your
nothing
class.
revolving around
Thank
Yeah,
you, Professor Weasley.
yeah.
that
You're
community.
welcome.
It has
I
nothing
hope you
revolving
enjoy your
around.
first night at Hogwarts.
I don't know. It's just so frustrating to see because
It
it's
is.
like it's a
It
video
is.
game.
It is because it is a video game. It is just, and it's just something we do to pass. It's something I do to pass the time and have fun. And it's,
Right. Well, that's the same with me
See,
as I
everyone's
pass the
gone.
time, man. I'm
Let's
not
head to the
looking.
common room.
I'm Yeah, we've had a deep conversation today, but it's gaming is not about that. Gaming is about
I suppose some introductions are in order.
letting go and transporting yourself inside the game that you're playing.
Yeah.
Can I help you?
And the whole thing is I'd rather not have real life problems. Like if I was doing a channel purely based off of you know, the type of conversations that we're having right now, I'd actually have us in a blog more than a channel like
In a
this.
forum, yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't be playing video games and all of that. It
was
was
dreadful,
It's just
but quite an experience
both
nonetheless.
sides just need to be
Interesting
told.
perspective.
Yeah.
How
And
did you
it's
and
not,
Fig manage to escape?
you know,
It's all still a bit of a
it's not
blur, to be
anything
honest.
that,
Didn't mean to
I
press.
mean-
You just get yourself settled. We can talk more later.
I mean, it's just that, and I don't like talking about politics, and I don't like doing this, and I don't. But both sides do need to be told. So
Right.
I agreed to do this.
What
So
book were you reading?
A spell book I picked up.
Well, and it's just one of those things where, you know, this little bit that I've done is purely based off of everyone stating that people are going to get canceled if they stream this game.
just because they don't have a certain word in there, or a certain
Seems
you
I
know.
may have met
Right.
a kindred
Because at the end of the
spirit.
day, you can make your character transgender
is a
without having the
conversation
word
for another
transgender
time.
in
It
the
was good
game.
meeting you.
yes,
Good luck today.
you could have a female that has a deep voice
And it has wizard as their pronouns.
because look, they've done
I
it with
want to
that,
think that again.
that girl in the
Not going to
tavern in the
be
game.
fair, are you?
So
Watch this.
Yeah, I mean, it's...
Don't say I didn't warn you.
you can do it.
Checkmate.
It's just,
Told you.
I mean, it's just that people want to.
You should have listened to me.
Ah,
And
I know who
I
you
don't
are.
I
You're
don't
the
mean
new
this to
Slytherin, the one who
sound
barged in with Professor Fig last
insensitive,
night.
but
Interesting tactic on your
I'm
first
going
day,
to,
taking all the
you
attention
know,
away from the first
I'm
Yeah.
going to
students.
say this.
I'm
whether
Imelda, by
it's
the way.
insensitive to
Shame I
people or
wasn't
not.
with you in Fig. I could have lured
You're
that dragon
upset
away.
with your life,
My skills
so
on a
you
broom
find
are
something else to pick on.
legendary.
Right.
Misery loves company,
Yeah.
and because I feel this way, I'm gonna see how many other people feel this way.
Yeah. Well, at the end of the day, you are wholly and entirely in control of yourself.
You are, and you
So,
are you are wholly and in control, whether you get up on the right side of the bed or the wrong side of the bed.
yeah.
This whole thing started when some troublemaker got on the internet and see how many people he could get to follow him and say, I'm mad at this, so let me see how many
And
other
I think
people
you're
are mad at this.
underestimating the nature of a dragon.
Yeah.
A broom would have been kindling.
I guarantee
Not
you,
the way
if
I
nobody
fly.
was talking about it,
Perhaps one of these days I'll show you a
It
thing or
wouldn't be
two
an
about
issue.
flying. I can teach you more than
Well,
Kagawa
and,
ever could.
you know, it's
Speaking of which, I'd like to get
sad,
into
really,
broom before
to
classes.
see the way that society is taking everything. It's just really unfortunate. So,
I mean, it's just one of those things where me and you, Mitch.
yeah.
I mean, it's just one of those things where we have to be secure in who we are.
Yeah.
And everything else will just, whether we like it, we'll take it in, or whether we don't like it, we'll push it out.
Yep.
And that's the way. I'm not saying the rest of the world has to become like that, but the rest of the rest of the world has to become. I guess we have to. I guess there has to be more people out here that talk like this, talk about this stuff, other than just me and you.
Right. Well, and let's go beyond that. If you continue to try and shape the world for yourself,
yeah,
there are always going to be those who push back.
Exactly.
And unfortunately, we're seeing that time and time again. And you see stuff like, you have the anti-gay culture, you have the anti-transgender culture, you have all these people coming up and saying, well, this is wrong. When really, it's hard for me because they lump me into the millennial generation.
It's hard for me too because they do the same thing. They do the same thing to me when I was.
And if you look at Gen X, we are closer to Gen X because we are at the end of Gen X than we are millennials.
Yeah.
So, like, growing up, we didn't have cell phones. That didn't come around until...
I didn't get a cell phone until I was 17, 18 years old.
Imelda.
Yeah, see, I
could pay for it myself.
Well, and see, the thing is when I was in 8th grade, I got the first, you remember the old Nokia that you could switch the face plates on?
Yes, I had that phone.
I had that in 8th grade. And the reality of cell phones back then was for 10 minutes of time, you were paying almost $60.
Yep.
Now, that's an exaggeration, but it's pretty damn close. I mean, it was ridiculous how much they charged for minutes. But the only time I was allowed to use it was with calling mom for an emergency.
Yeah, that's...
So I didn't want the cell phone. I was like, God, this is just something I have to keep track of. I have to charge this thing? So, you know...
What do you mean charge? What are you charging?
Yeah, and like, I grew up, you know, not even thinking on that level, not thinking about... So, but it's just hard to see how things are going. But if you liked this stream, if you liked where we were going with it, send comments. I've got a website built for our group. Throw comments in there. Just let us know what you want to see more of.